Boy Jay Bird, they doing back at y'all again. Coming back at y'all with another message. You know, a lot of times I sit back and watch my thoughts, and I realize sometimes we have the same thoughts over and over every single day, and we might feel some type of way with different emotions and stuff flowing through us. And I realize when I go through my days like that, speaking from experience, because we all going through it, but we all got a spirit and breath in our nose that we breathe that come from God. When we go throughout our days, especially me, and I think about a lot of things, I still worry about the normal things, you know, income, children, the homeless, the elderly. There's a lot of different things I think about. I realize no matter how hard I try, even when I talk to God at night before I go to sleep, somehow, some way, I still end up having like nightmares. And they're not necessarily nightmares lately I've been having. It's just more so like a lot of dreams and stuff that got to do with people that I know, or just the regular world. Like, you know, I've never really dreamed about diamond like waterfalls and or heavenly places, or you know, Paradise Island. You know, it's rare that I've had dreams like that. I used to have dreams like that when I was young, and I think that's why I used to like to play Mario Brothers, Super Mario, because all of the game systems that came out, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and the first Nintendo, all of those games that came out with Mario, Super Mario Brothers, I always liked it, the graphics and the worlds and the water and the little islands and just the paradise view of a lot of those games, where, you know, it just helped me get away. And I'm starting to realize that, you know, we think we could be so spiritual sometimes, or we know so much sometimes, that we don't even have an imagination no more. We can't even go to sleep at night and have dreams of flying or floating or walking on paradise, or on an island enjoying ourselves, or even in the heavens, in the clouds, you know, flying with angels and stuff like that, or just, you know, dreams where it's nothing but bright, beautiful lights and crystalline waters and crystallized lakes. You know, I barely have good dreams anymore. And when I say good dreams, I mean, like, I have good dreams, but they're not the type of dreams that, you know, maybe God would put into us, you know, where it's a bunch of lights and a bunch of people showing love and this and that. But it's mostly dreams of like people that I already know, and going to parties here and there, and, you know, good dreams, but not necessarily spiritual, you know. So I'm just making this video off the top of my head of things and thoughts and emotions that I've been watching pass by. And I'm starting to realize, you know, it's so important to live a simple life. Because when you can live a simple life, you don't have to be all extra and stuff like that. And when you can find things to focus on other than the things in this world, that's a beautiful start. I tend to think in a lot of words. I tend to think a lot of thoughts like in the form of words. Every now and then I might have thoughts and stuff like visions and imaginations and daydream. Yet sometimes I wonder what life would be like if the whole world was in darkness. A lot of people would be scared if the whole world had no street lights, no cell phones, no sunlight, no moonlight, just straight darkness. I don't think a lot of people would like that type of world. Because when darkness means that there's nothing to see. And when there's nothing to see, the only thing you can focus on is your hearing, whatever you hear in the dark, or your heartbeat, talking to God in the darkness, which will be a lot more intimate than playing a radio and trying to talk to God in prayer, or blasting the TV, or playing headphones, or always on your phone. You have no time to talk to the Creator, to God. So it's like, what do you do when everything in this world is taken away from you? It's like you got to go back into the darkness. It's important to take deep, deep, deep breath also, because when there's nothing you can think about, taking deep breaths and letting it out slow, you feel your body start to heat up, like your whole body got a fever. That's the breath of life. That gives your body warmth and heat and expansion and connects you to God more and more. A lot of people don't realize how breathing deep connects you to God more and more, to Elohim, to your Creator. So this is just one of those videos that I'm gonna give it whatever title it is. It's just gonna be off the dome. So I really don't care about a title for this video. I just care about expressing things that probably need to be heard, because others are going through the same thing. And what better way to speak on things in the world that's most important: the children, life, natural foods, and just getting connected back to your heart, so that you know that this world here, where everything is not right in a lot of people's eyes, we're getting to the point where it's going to get right. And you have to focus on yourself and not worry about what others say, not watch TV all day, not scroll on TikTok all day, but to actually take time to be to yourself. Because when you can't be to yourself and take time, you'll end up not creating the life that you want. You'll end up having bad dreams and nightmares all the time. You'll end up always focusing on everybody in the world. Every car that passes by, somebody's looking at you. You'll turn and look at every single car and wear yourself out, just looking, necking, looking. Sometimes you just need to ignore everything in the world. Police sirens, people calling your name that think they know you, car horns blowing, next door neighbor making noise. Sometimes you just need to ignore things and just zero in on yourself and just push everything out. When you say yes to everything, you connect yourself to everything. When you say no to everything, you shrink back and become so small that you become unattached and separated from things. And when you're set apart and separated from people, places, and things, and you're only to yourself, that's the time to deal with yourself connected to God. And I know it's a lot of things that bother many people, men, women, and children. That's why to this day I see grown men, women, and children bite their nails or tap their feet or play with their hair or scroll on their phones, because it's just something to do out of habit to make the day go by. And this is why I tell people, if you ever came into my life, you would feel a lot of powerful energy. You will feel all different types of things coming around me, because I have a good spirit, and I know I do. Based on the fact of animals and babies come around me and they like to talk and they speak, even when I'm not in a speaking mode. And I speak back, because the innocence of a child and the elderly and animals, how can you turn that down? If a child smiles at me, I smile back. How can you turn that down? Sometimes I smile at children and then they may crack a smile. They may wait a minute, you know what I mean? But, I just made this video a little bit over 10 minutes because, it's just a lot I wanted to let out. And, I'm not always in an uproar and having so much to say and always in a joyful mood. Sometimes I'm in a relaxed mood and calm, and I like to come to people like that. And I enjoy getting on camera to see the things that are around me, the different colors, be it spirits, be it orbs, my aura field, all types of energies floating around. I must say I had a good day today. Sometimes I truly believe that when you have a relationship with God and you put things down, phone, cell phone, radio, TV, you can actually ask God to help you recreate your heart, recreate your mind, renew your spirit, and fill your mind with some of the most glorious heavenly imaginations possible. Because that's something I'm going to start trying to do. And if I can't do that, I'm just going to make sure I clear my mind. Clear my mind with deep breathing at night before you go to sleep. If you can breathe deep before you go to sleep, that's a powerful thing, because even in the daytime, I've took deep breaths each hour that passes. And for some reason, I get real sleepy. Even before I even eat lunch or anything, I get real sleepy. I could be at a park or on a city bus or in a store or in a bookstore, and or the library, and I just go to dozing off, after taking deep breaths. So I'm starting to realize, before you go to sleep at night, learn to take deep breaths, because if it wasn't for the breath of life being put into the nostrils or the nose of man and woman, where they became alive and came to be a living soul, then that means that these bodies that we have right now, there would be no way for us to be a living, walking, talking spirit as a soul if we didn't have a breath, a breathing process. So lately I've been breathing deep, because a lot of people don't know that God, the Creator, Elohim, the spirit world, wants you to breathe deep. Breathe deep and slow every hour of the day, because when you breathe deep and slow and you learn to take in more oxygen and take deep breaths, you feel better. It relieves stress. It relieves depression. And I'm talking about take deep breaths outside. And if you can't get outside, crack your windows in your house. Stop being in that air condition. Air condition wasn't something that God blowed into the nose of man as the breath. But man was outside laying on that ground before Adam's body stood up, so to speak, with that breath of life that we breathe through our nose, which is life. So if you don't know how to talk to God, or you don't know how to pray, if you're too weak mentally to speak to God, or you're too weak to even think thoughts because you think so much and thoughts run through your head, go back and focus on your breath. Take deep, slow breaths. Inhale and exhale slowly. Don't matter if it's through your nose or your mouth. And try and see how you feel. And what thoughts pop up. Because I realize in this world that we live in, there's so much things going on. It's like we all living in hell, and to live in hell is to inhale through your nose your breath. And when you can inhale and hold your breath and let it flow through your body, and then let it out slowly, you're going through the same process when Adam and Eve were created, and they took the first breath of life and exhaled and became a living soul, walking and moving on this earth, wherever, however, with no worries. So, the breath of life, electricity, body heat, feeling warm. Focus on the sensations and how you feel breathing this breath of life. Because in this day and time, the closest thing we got to God, when our thoughts are going crazy and our emotions are going crazy, is our spirit and our breath. Something we can't see but gives us life and heats up and warms up our body. I love y'all dearly. I'm sorry that this video is this long. Probably the longest one I make this year. And I thank y'all for listening. Y'all be easy. Y'all be safe. Love yourself.